Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Christian Mosquera is doing his medicals at Arsenal. Nwaneri has finally agreed a deal with Arsenal to extend his contract. It is done. And also Arsenal are willing to go big on Rodrygo and Emirates as a swap deal is being proposed between Reece Nelson and Emirates as of course Arsenal will be adding a couple of cash on that deal. But Arsenal are trying to do that deal with a swap deal. And I want to ask you in the comment box below, you have seen how Arsenal summer has gone. You have seen the players we're bringing in. A number 9 is coming in. A number 10 is obviously coming in. We've got a new midfield and defenders have also been signed and a new goalkeeper. Does this guarantee Arsenal champions next season? Let me know in the comment box below. Are we guaranteed champions come next season? And of course, you've got to provide context there because you've got Liverpool, who have done very well in this transfer summer with Florian Wirtz coming in. Alexander Isak is also, being eyed. They've got Mo Salah at the team as well. Frimpong and Karkis as well. Coming through the door. They've lost one player that is really, really important to them, and that is Trent Alexander-Arnold. But with the summer that we have had, do you think Arsenal are guaranteed champions? Because we've got options now. Even if we suffer from injuries, Arsenal will be all right. We've got enough quality to compete for the Premier League without injuries and without new additions. Do you think this Arsenal team, if Mikel Arteta gets the right tactics and he gets the right picks every single game, do you think we are guaranteed champions, or are we second to Liverpool still? I want your thoughts. I want your opinions as well, because this could be the best Premier League season we are about to see with our own eyes. But let's start off with that big story. We reported in the morning that Christian Mosquera was in London to do his medicals. Now we can confirm that he's already arrived at Arsenal and is already doing his medicals. They were scheduled for Wednesday and nothing is changing. Christian Mosquera is doing part 1 of his medicals today. Part 2 could also be done today or tomorrow. And then we're waiting for that big announcement from Arsenal of Christian Mosquera. Could come on Thursday, it could come on Friday as well, but just know that in the next 3 days it's going to be action-packed. It's going to be a lot of work for Arsenal to complete all these signings and then try to go with them to the Asian tour. Now, in terms of shirt numbers, we don't have any leaked ones yet. I mean, we got leaked shirt numbers for Martin Zubimendi. We don't have any leaked shirt numbers for these guys, but again, like I said before, all the shirt numbers that are available will be available to all these players. And of course, 9 players have already been told by Arsenal to leave. So don't be surprised if you see Gyökeres in a shirt number 9. Don't be surprised if you see Mosquera in a shirt number 21 that belongs to Vieira. Most of these players are almost guaranteed to leave. In fact, Sami Makpo was saying that for some players, like Fabio Vieira, he would be very surprised if the season began and they were still Arsenal players. So, Christian Mosquera, I am going to predict. Now, shirt number 16 has gone to Christian Nogard. 17 has gone to Alexander Zinchenko. I think he's going to put on 18. But I won't be surprised to see him in that shirt number 5. I won't be surprised to see the shirt number 5 go to Christian Mosquera. But I'll prefer 18. In my opinion, shirt number 5 is kind of a bit of pressure on him, unless Gabriel Magalhaes takes on shirt number 5. But I really prefer Gabi in shirt number 6. I would love to see Saliba put on that shirt number 5, maybe, and then shirt number 2 goes to Christian Mosquera. But we see, I think 18 is the shirt number most suitable for Christian Mosquera. Now, Fabrizio Romano has announced that a deal has finally been agreed between the two parties, that is Arsenal and Nwaneri. This is done in the morning. Again, I reported that it was very close, and this was reported by David Onstein yesterday, that a deal was at the final stages for the player to actually sign a new deal. Now, Sami Makpo and Fabrizio have just confirmed that Nwaneri is set to sign what is expected to be an initial 4-year deal contract at Arsenal with another year to extend. I think the big point of discussion around Nwaneri's contract is that the player has not even asked for, he's not asked for, more game time. He's not asked for more game time. But I think the highlight is that Arsenal have told him, you're going to be playing more centrally. You're going to be occupying a more central role. Now, I don't know whether this is the idea of the player I don't know if this is the idea of the manager, but when we have seen Nwaneri play on the right-hand side, wow, what a player, what a talent. And I think him as a player and his camp was starting to feel like his future at Arsenal was on the right-hand side. His future at Arsenal was on right wing. And when they saw Madueke coming in, of course, Saka is like an immovable object. There is no way you're going to get past Saka in that right wing position unless you are so good, which like Saka is really, really so good. So because of that, Nwaneri and his camp were a little bit worried. You've got Saka, and therefore, naturally, Nwaneri becomes the backup. But if you're bringing in Madueke, then that means Nwaneri is going to be displaced and he's not going to get enough time. Now, Mikel Arteta and the coaching team have told them he's going to be occupying a more central role. What that means is basically a number 10 stroke number 8. And naturally, that is where he plays. That is where Arsenal originally brought him from to cover for right wing when Saka was actually injured. Now, is he going to get enough time centrally? Now, for Arsenal's midfield, he will get enough time. That is with the exclusion of Eberechi Eze coming in. Now, because that again changes the dimension of this conversation. So without Eze, you would naturally think that Nwaneri becomes the default option. If Vieira leaves, he becomes the default option to back up Odegaard. But also he becomes the default option in a 4-2-3-1 when Arsenal want to play a creative number 10. I think Nwaneri is a much better player behind the striker than Martin Odegaard, than Declan Rice, than Mika Marino, than Kai Havertz. He's a much better player. So naturally he is our number 10. And I would love to see him put that at number 10, but it's a little bit too early, right? So if we don't have Eze, I can understand, I can see where the minutes are going to come from. Odegaard comes off when you replace. Odegaard has not played when you replace. Maybe Rice has not played when you replace. Rice comes off when you comes on. All right, that is in terms of the attacking left 8 and right 8 positions. But if you add Eze to the mixture, that's where the problem now comes in, because Eze is this he's a beast of a talent. Like, plays everywhere. He's 27. He's Premier League proven. He doesn't care. Like, he's gonna eat up those minutes, and Nwaneri won't know where where the minutes on his plate have actually gone. And I think that is again the point to worry. Should Arsenal be worried that what happened with Charlie Patino or Mal Hutchinson could actually happen, Aiden Haven could actually happen to Nwaneri, the likes of Florian Balogun, because these were players that were almost guaranteed to have a pathway to the Arsenal team, and it didn't happen. And again, we've got to ask the same question to Nwaneri. How come that the manager has trusted Lewis Kelly at left back? We know Mikel Arteta is so, I would say, has got this compulsive obsessive disorder with defensive cleanliness. And for him to trust an 18-year-old, for such a manager to trust an 18-year-old, it means that this guy has proven without and beyond reasonable doubt to the manager that he's good beyond any reasonable doubt. So I think Nwaneri needs to work harder. And I'm happy that there was no demands for game time, because you've got to work harder in such a system not to complain about minutes. I love the mentality of this guy. He's not complaining about minutes. And I think there was an interview he made at the end of the campaign when he was asked about, how do you feel that you've not played a lot of minutes, especially after playing a lot without Saka on the pitch. And he said, this Arsenal team is competitive, and the manager is always gonna pick the best players. So you just have to keep on pushing. I think Nwaneri needs to push a little bit better. He's a talent without a question. He's a phenomenal player, but he will need to push a little bit, just a little bit harder. Now, Arsenal are willing to go big on Rodrygo. They're willing to spend up to £80 million, which is closer to €100 million. And they're willing to give the player 300,000 per week. That is reports in Spain. Of course, Arsenal feeling confident because they feel a departure on the left wing is very, very possible this summer, and that's going to bring in some money into a bank account. But also, a couple of players are going to be leaving. A whooping 9 players have been told by Arsenal, it is time for you to find football elsewhere. The doors are closing, at Arsenal. Like I said yesterday, I don't have any doubt that Arsenal are really interested in Rodrygo. And it kind of fills me with joy that my team is behaving in this way. Every single fan out there is going to be overjoyed because your team is interested in one of the best players on the planet. And it kind of reflects what Mikel Arteta was saying. Can we win in the transfer window? If we win in the transfer window, we get the best players that are available. We get options to the players we have already. We sell the ones we don't want to use. We get more money in the team. We cover for PSR. There is no way you're not going to win trophies. And I think Rodrygo is a player that comes into Arsenal and we automatically start winning. Now, I don't want to overrate him because his numbers are not like Alexis Sanchez numbers yet. But he's 24. At 25, 26, 27, he could become a monster. He could become a beast of a player. Liverpool are also there. But for Liverpool, I think a move depends on Luis Diaz. I know they've got the money. They've got like 120 million. But they will have to first sell Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez in order for them to go for the final part of the transfers. Obviously, Arsenal as well. Martinelli, Trossard, Vieira, Kivio, Zinchenko, they've got to first leave in order for us to do the final part of transfers. But I highly believe we can complete ourselves quicker than Liverpool. Because with Liverpool, they've got Darwin Núñez and they're asking for a lot of money. Actually, Napoli have gone and signed Luka instead of Darwin Núñez, and Núñez had already agreed personal terms with Napoli. And the problem is the price of the player. So I think Arsenal can offload Martinelli, Trossard, Vieira, Kivio, Zinchenko, and other players that we want to offload, get the money to sign Rodrygo before Liverpool sell Luis Diaz and Núñez. Because Luis Diaz, they value him at 100 million. Maybe Bayern are desperate and they give you 100 million, but for me, that would be like a real desperate move, right? But can we get Rodrygo? Yes. Can we beat Liverpool? Yes. It's going to be about time. Can Liverpool go there first and agree a deal? Can Arsenal go there first and agree a deal? Because both of us are offering him the same incentive. You come to the Premier League, you come to one of the best projects in the Premier League. Liverpool, for me, have got such a wonderful project, right? But Arsenal have got a very, very fantastic project as well. And then Champions League football is available. A chance to win the Premier League is available with both clubs. So we are offering him the right incentives, both of us. And also playing on the left-hand side where he feels comfortable. It's just about who is willing to pay his wages in full and who is willing to pay 80 to 90 million pounds for the player. Now, Arsenal are proposing a swap deal for Emirates Eze and Reiss Nelson. Crystal Palace have retained some degree of interest in Reiss Nelson, but they have not made any offers. The clubs that are really pushing to sign Reiss Nelson are Fulham, Brighton, and if I am not mistaken or forgotten, there was something like Brentford. I think Brentford as well, right? But I think that depends if they lose, if they lose Brian Mbeumo. But Arsenal saying, could we do a swap deal, Nelson and Eze? Obviously, that means that Arsenal is kind of a player plus cash deal because you have Nelson, who is valued at around 15 million, and you have Eze, who is valued at around 60 million. If these guys can agree for Arsenal to send 35 million plus Reiss Nelson, do the deal. God, do the deal. That's a very, very good deal. Do the deal. Do the deal. Do the deal. But anything above 35, okay, 40 plus Nelson, again, that I would do the deal, right? Because it allows us to spend less while we're getting a much better quality. I wanted to speak about Arsenal's chances of winning the Premier League if we get Eze and Rodrygo through the door. does it make us guaranteed winners? Well, technically, Liverpool should be guaranteed winners because they are defending champions. They come into this campaign to try and win again. They're trying to defend their trophy. They're trying to defend their glory. And instead of getting worse, they get better. Because we would have said they will be drained, okay? They'll be drained, burnout, and all that. And of course, the second season syndrome for Arne Slot is knocking on the door, okay? But I am looking at a Liverpool side that have strengthened beyond imaginable limits. And I'm like, why are they doing this, right? They've already got a very good squad. Why are they adding Vats? Why are they adding Isak? Why are they adding, Carcass? That is a team that is ready to go and defend their glory. So I don't think it makes us guaranteed winners, but it makes us guaranteed golden challenges. I don't know whether that's a word I've just, come up with, right? But it makes us guaranteed golden challenges. Arsenal will become a team that is almost certain to win if no one is better. Hit the like button. See you soon.